Jake, I've said this a number of times since Shedeur Sanders has started. I'm curious your thoughts. There are 3, 4, 5 throws pretty consistently in every start where you're like, all right, that's what you're looking for at a high-level quarterback. And then there's a couple plays where it's kind of like, got to get rid of those. Do you go through and do that same thing? And then dovetailing off of that, what's Sanders' goal the rest of these final 4 games?
Well, there certainly are. I think the Raiders and Titans, or excuse me, the Raiders 49ers games, it was a processing issue. I thought he did a better job of stepping up, standing in pockets, and not drifting as much. There's still some of that drifting stuff that he's fighting, and some of those extending plays stuff. You hear him talk about it himself. He has to just kind of figure out when a play is over and be more consistent with that. And I do think he got better at throwing some of those footballs away, but he still leads the league in time to throw. It means he's holding on to the football longer than anybody else. So there is some stuff there that needs to tempo up for him. He'll get better at it, I think, if he gets more exposure to it. I don't know why he wouldn't, because we've seen, nothing's guaranteed for player progression, but we've seen some progression from him this year that's really encouraging. But to the crux of my point, he, in the first 2 starts, Vegas, 49ers, he didn't process coverage and throw to open opportunities as often as he needed to. I think that there were throws to be made that he wasn't seeing and wasn't finding, or he wasn't believing what his eyes were telling him. The Titans game was a massive step in the right direction in that, just trusting what you're seeing and throwing it and letting it rip. We'll see if he continues that. That's a trend he will need to continue the rest of the way to convince the people in the front office that they don't need to take another quarterback. That's got to be his goal. His goal is to start at the NFL level, right? So if he can figure out how to do that, the way to do it, in my opinion, is win a couple of these last 4 games and take the Browns out of position to take Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza without trading. And maybe the Browns don't have any want or desire to trade up to go get a quarterback. They may take one if there's one there and they're picking organically. But there's, if you're picking 6th, 7th, something like that, because Shedeur plays well the rest of the year and wins a couple games, then you're probably feeling better about him. So that's the goal. His goal is to win some games, put pressure on the front office by putting good tape out there the last 4, keep building off the Titans game, right? We want to see if that was just a 1-game thing against the Titans defense that's not very good. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. Certainly the Titans defense isn't good, but that doesn't mean he didn't play well. He did the things necessary to beat that defense. Now he's going to play some better ones, or teams that are more interested in competing and winning games at a high level to make the playoffs, Bears, Bills, and Steelers in a row. So we'll see how those games go. Obviously, every Browns fan should want Shedeur to be the answer, because that's like a cheat code to solving a lot of this, right? You get then 2 first-round picks to use on other positions in the offense that they clearly need. You get a cheap quarterback for 4 years. It gets you out of the Watson nightmare because you have a cheap quarterback. There's a lot of advantages to him being the guy, on top of like just finding a guy, right? So the goal for him is to play really well the last 4 games, potentially take them out of position to take a quarterback because he's a part of winning a couple of those games. And then he puts the pressure on to give him another year as a full starter and get, if you get another full season as a starter, think back to like Brock Purdy a few years back with the 49ers. He earned, like, he had a really good run at the end of that rookie season. Then he had to beat out Trey Lance in training camp, and then he started another year, and then it just keeps working as you play well enough to keep the job. You're all of a sudden 4 years in and you're extended for $200 million. So, like, just take care of what you can take care of, play well the last 4 games, and then see where the chips fall about getting a chance to be the starter for a full season.